having some fun.
Yeah? What kind of fun?
You know, the kind of fun that people have on a podcast, talking about, your week and the kind of things that you do when you're all alone by yourself and ain't nobody watching you, those kind of things, the fun things, the things that bring you joy in life. Those kind of things.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying is all. That's all I'm saying is all. We just want to talk about video games and have fun. It's going to be great. Player One Podcast, episode 597.
It's funny. Since there's 7 people waiting on the
7 people
live
waiting?
Watching.
Mine it hasn't updated. It still says they're waiting.
Oh, really? Mine says...
Probably they are waiting for Phil to shut up. There we go.
15 watching now.
Oh, wait, 16.
Oh, gee.
Oh, God, don't screw this up.
Oh, 17.
Here we go. Let's just wait until there's like a whole bunch of people. Then we can say hello to the good people.
Or we can just start now.
Only the
I
people?
don't see the point.
Hello and welcome to episode 597 of the Player One Podcast for
Oh boy.
Messed that up. Start again.
Oh boy.
If I was paying attention to this show, I'd be so embarrassed right now.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 597 of the Player One Podcast for Tuesday, April 17th, 2018. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going?
Lots of racing today.
Yeah?
NHL playoffs have started. All is right in the world.
Nice.
Okay. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Greetings, Earthlings.
How's it going?
If I do a stupid voice, are you just gonna match it?
I'm just gonna do it right back to you, right back at you.
I feel like saying he's matching it is a little kind.
That's right.
How you doing, CJ?
I'm doing pretty good, Phil. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to hear it.
I'm doing great also.
Why, I'm so excited to hear you here, CJ.
Oh, that's the one I can't
There
do.
he is.
I can't
give
do
it. You couldn't do the others, but that didn't stop you
I was
from
going to say,
trying.
that's not the one you can't do.
Well, okay, fine. I can't do any of them.
Okay.
What's
What's up?
How's it going?
It's going fine. You answered my question with a question, though.
Well, okay. What was your question?
How is it going? How are you?
I'm fine.
You're
doing
so
great.
concerned about us. I want to hear how you're doing, CJ.
Well, thank you, Phil. Thank you for your concern. I'm doing totally fine. It's a little rainy day here in hot Atlanta.
Rainy days got you down.
That's right.
You got those rainy day blues, as they say.
Rainy day blues.
Why don't
But
you hit me with a few bars of that?
I'd rather not, actually.
Oh my god!
But you know what we should do? We should talk about the news because we have so
friggin'
much
improv
There's a
partner.
lot of news.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a good improv partner. You should know that already.
You are terrible at improv.
I am no
But a
and.
great wingman,
Yes.
That is true.
I'm told.
That is true.
All right, let's talk about this. Billy Mitchell
Oh boy!
been stripped of all of his scores and banned by Twin Galaxies.
I, for one, am shocked.
Shocked. Absolutely shocked.
This, of course, over the discovery that Billy Mitchell had been using MAME and not original hardware for his Donkey Kong high scores.
Falsified evidence.
Yes.
So in the movie The King of Kong,
Mhm.
which is a fine film, fine pseudo documentary.
Yeah, it's great.
I say that because there's been plenty of people saying that it's events were sort of manipulated in that to paint a narrative that wasn't necessarily there, but it's still a highly entertaining film. But in that movie, Steve Wiebe,
Mm-hmm.
the fantastic, yes, the fantastic, lovable Steve Wiebe, got his high score on Donkey Kong, and then like right after that,
He did it live, right? He did it
He
like
did it
on the
live,
scene.
yeah,
Did
at
it live.
FunSpot.
And like
We're
as
gonna
it
have a Donkey
happens,
Kong kill screen coming up.
Yeah.
Billy Mitchell,
You might want to see it.
the villainous, and as time has revealed,
Mm.
the actual villainous Billy Mitchell shows up with a videotape
Yes.
saying, "Oh,
He didn't show up with it. He mailed it.
oh, he mailed it. Okay,
One of his cronies showed up with it.
Had it.
oh, gotcha. Okay, so he mails in. He doesn't even have the gall to show up and deliver it. He mails it over, and on this videotape is a game of Donkey Kong that Billy Mitchell claims is him playing the arcade game and getting the high score,
Mhm.
topping
Yeah,
Steve Wiebe.
that's right.
And that was a big plot point in the movie.
Yes.
Extremely big. Yeah.
And now it has come to light that videotape was falsified, right?
And if you remember in the movie, because I just watched it recently,
Oh, did you?
there
Nice.
was a whole big deal about how they accepted it because Billy was, honestly, it was because he was all part of the same clique.
So
but
trusted.
Yeah,
you know,
because normally
just
they
trusted him.
don't take videotaped evidence, right?
no, they do.
Oh, do they?
They
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was a section of the tape where the screen rolls a little bit.
Oh,
And
okay,
there was a big
okay.
question about whether, like, oh, that's kind of weird. What's going on? But it's Billy, so we're going to accept this tape anyway.
Right.
So,
And it turns out Billy was playing the game.
so that
But-
makes
On
Steve
me.
Wiebe officially the first person to actually reach a 1 million point
Yes.
score in
Yes.
Donkey Kong.
Yes, not the current record holder.
Not the current record holder.
Neither him nor Billy are the
No.
current record holder. And a third fellow whose name I forget.
Is he the dentist? Isn't that the
I
dentist?
think so. Yeah, he's yeah. If it's assuming the record hasn't been broken again, yeah, there was a dentist who had beaten Steve's score.
By the way, great movie
Yeah.
to watch. Not only really the drama surrounding the sort of battle between Steve and Billy Mitchell is just the backdrop for just a glimpse into a world that kind of makes you cringe.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Like that whole
Video
arcade
game
high school
world.
group is just like
Dysfunctional.
Yeah.
interesting group.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's and wasn't it just a couple weeks ago where someone had tweeted in asking us if Billy Mitchell were to play like Pac-Man or Donkey Kong on Twitch?
Oh, right,
if-
right, right.
if, would that get millions of people tuning in to watch that?
Right.
I don't think
got
so.
that tweet. Yeah.
And
I don't think that
I
would
think
happen.
we get a lot.
Huh?
I think we get a lot of people watching. I don't know about millions. I think you get a lot more now than it would have
Well,
even 3 months ago.
I
But-
think the actual tweet was saying, would it break the Ninja
Drake record. No.
record?
Drake's
and we-
pretty popular.
Well, we all agreed. We all agreed at the time that no, of course it
No.
would.
Also, you have to be playing Fortnite to break that record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Not
But-
Donkey Kong or Pac-Man.
True.
But I just
By the
thought
way,
it- I mean,
My 9-year-old son has officially stated that PUBG sucks.
oh,
really?
Fortnite is the shit. He didn't say the shit, but
Fortnite
the
is
bomb,
king.
and the
Okay.
PUBG sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
Microsoft.
Billy Mitchell has been banned. He can't even he can't
Yeah.
submit any more tapes. Nothing. He's done.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember too. Like, he's been recognized as like the greatest Pac-Man player in the world. He had
Oh, yeah,
Guinness
yeah.
World Records, and
Yep.
like recognized by Namco. Like,
Yeah.
there was a lot more to him than just the Donkey Kong thing and
Oh, yeah.
and King of Kong.
Indeed.
Fraud.
You know,
Flim
part of
flam
me-
man.
I think a lot of people are probably very happy about this because you always want to see someone get their comeuppance.
Right.
But part of me wishes it didn't happen just because he's so despicable in that movie that you kind of part of the charm is that he is as good as he says he is, and he's just
You
a dick. Like,
don't want your cartoon villains to turn into real villains.
yeah, you just kind of like that guy's a jerk. But God damn.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Everyone was very amused by Donald Trump when he was on TV yelling at people that they were fired, but then you put him in a a real position, and suddenly everyone's like, no.
There you go.
Yeah.
So 2K has a top secret studio apparently working on a new BioShock game.
Clearly not that top secret. We're talking about it.
Well, true.
Yeah.
It's a new report. Jason Schreier did a feature on Kotaku called How the Makers of Mafia 3 Lost Their Way, and revealed that top members of that team were moved to a top secret studio.
Member.
Top member.
Yeah.
Senior producers, design leads, and art director.
Cool.
Moved to a top secret studio to work on a new unannounced BioShock game.
Cool.
So
I would play another BioShock game.
I'd be more excited about this if BioShock Infinite didn't happen.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the next one's going to be bad. And BioShock Infinite wasn't bad. It just wasn't.
It was bad. No. BioShock Infinite is bad.
No.
Yes.
PUBG is bad. BioShock Infinite.
I don't think PUBG is bad. PUBG is a lot more hardcore of a shooter than you or I want to pay attention to, I think.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
You can keep thinking that.
I will. But BioShock, Infinite was a bad game.
It wasn't a bad game.
It was not good.
It wasn't a good BioShock game.
I recently picked up the BioShock collection.
How was it? How was it as a Switch game?
Oh, excellent.
It's a bad BioShock game,
everything
but
gets better when it's on Switch.
But it's a great Switch game.
Yes.
No. Hey, the Switch eShop has enough shovelware, okay?
Oh boy.
It's just
Now I don't know if I'd go so far as to say BioShock Infinite is shovelware.
Okay, I won't say that.
But it's definitely not good.
No, indeed. New one coming out. I'm excited about that. I picked up the collection. There was some kind of price error. I got the collection for $11.99 on PlayStation.
Nice.
Okay.
So I'm happy about that.
So did you ever go back and play BioShock 2, the secret best BioShock game?
I have not yet, but I want to.
You should.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very good. People didn't give that one a fair shake, I think.
Well, especially now that BioShock Infinite came out, proved that indeed you can make a bad BioShock game. You should go back and play that. Yeah.
Okay.
You know it. Microsoft.
Talk about Nintendo no matter what, don't you?
Let's talk about Microsoft for a second, because they had that Inside Xbox presentation.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit last week and kind of teased and kind of like laid out some titles that we'd be excited about if they made those backwards compatible, including Blinks and Panzer Dragoon Orta and KOTOR 2 and Morrowind. And guess what?
What?
Right on all counts.
We were right.
Goodness gracious.
They made all of those and more.
Pretty good Star Wars game on the Xbox, right?
Yeah, they added 16. What was it? 16 more games?
I don't know.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
It wasn't a lot enough to be a huge announcement, as they were sort of saying it was going to be, but it was, it was something.
Yeah, so on April 17th, we get Blinks, which I love. Breakdown, Conquer Live and Reloaded, Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind, Hunter the Reckoning, Jade Empire, Panzer Dragoon Orta, and SSX 3. Then on April 26th, we get Destroy All Humans, Full Spectrum Warrior, Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction, MX Unleashed, Panzer, Elite Action, Fields of Glory in Europe only. Then Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefront 2, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Jedi Starfighter, Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, and Republic Commando. Those are all Star Wars games at the end.
Is the first KOTOR backwards compatible?
It is, yes. It was it was part of the original
okay. Purivy.
The original 6 or 9 that came out last November.
Okay.
And then they also added Xbox One X 4K enhancements to a bunch of games, including Darksiders, Gears of War 2, Portal 2, Red Dead Redemption, Sonic Generations, and Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the comparison videos on Red Dead look great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watched a couple of those.
Very cool.
Yes, indeed. And Portal 2 just makes me want them to make another Portal game.
I'm sure Valve will get right on
I
that.
want to play Portal 3.
I know. I want to play Portal 3. Please. That would be.
Well, we got Portal
Bridge Maker or
Bridge
whatever?
Constructor Simulator Maker.
Yeah.
Got, Lego Dimensions Portal.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So there you go. It's like you're getting Portal 3.
No, it's not even close to that. I can't tell you how much it's not like you're getting Portal 3.
Oh my.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'd accept even like a Portal collection. Just put them out
Put 'em on Switch.
PlayStation.
Say it. Put them on Switch.
Okay,
Right.
put them out on Switch.
There
Sure.
you go.
I'd
See?
accept that
No.
too.
Do it.
Fine.
Do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
So PlayStation 5, there's been a little bit of buzz about it.
Didn't they announce
Mhm.
that back in like the early 2000s?
I think they did, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it part of the ad campaign for PlayStation 2 or 3 or
For 3, yeah.
for 3?
Huh.
Well, apparently there are some early rumblings about it, and Polygon did an interview with Andrew House, who no longer works for PlayStation,
I was going to say.
but speculated a little bit about it.
Okay.
Yeah. He says he does believe that the PlayStation 4 has a lot longer to go.
I'm okay with that.
What did he say? He thinks that cloud-based gaming will become a major part of the next generation, and the consoles will still ship with discs, with disk drives.
Okay.
I believe that too.
And that's basically it. This
Cool.
headline about Andrew House speculating about PlayStation 5 really comes down to he says it'll have a disk drive.
Yeah, the headline kind of leads you to believe that he's giving you information on the PlayStation 5 when it really is the headline is literal. He's just speculating about things that would be cool
Yeah.
with PlayStation 5.
It's gonna have a disk drive, people. What do you think about that?
Hacker alias Sledge in our chat has asked, do we realistically think the Xbox One would ever get Saturn or Dreamcast emulation? I could see
No.
Dreamcast. I don't know about Saturn. I don't know. The Saturn emulation world confuses me,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't feel like it's ever going to happen, to be honest.
Well, the problem with that is that Microsoft made no games for Saturn or Dreamcast.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
don't think they would spend time making emulation engines for consoles they had no games on.
It could be. Yeah.
But it'd be cool. I wish Sega would make emulators for Saturn and Dreamcast.
That's kind of what I'd
fun
like to
too.
see, rather than, and me speaking as the Genesis guy, super happy that, we're just getting all these Genesis remakes and re-releases and everything, but I'd love to see them move on
Yeah.
and get like a good company come up with a solid emulator for Saturn more than Dreamcast, because the Saturn, I think you'd find a lot of people really surprised with the quality of some of the games you could get on that system, and a lot of people didn't experience those games because they just, at least not in on this side of the world, because it just
Right.
the system wasn't that popular. But almost every time I stream a Saturn game on my Twitch channel, it's just the chat is filled with people like, oh my god, this looks really really fun. Like this is this is an excellent game. I had no idea this existed. I didn't know it was any good. Never played it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it would be great. It would be, I think it would be great for Sega to do something like that. Plus they own the rights to most of the best games on that system. So it's not like
Yeah,
they'd have to go
true.
and license anything,
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, maybe they'll get M2 on that at some
that's
point.
what I was,
after,
that was on the tip of my tongue. M2.
after M2 is done with making Sega Ages games.
Oh
for
man.
Nintendo Switch. We found that out as part of the Sega Fest event in Japan this year that M2 is working on Sega Ages games coming to the Nintendo Switch this summer,
Pretty awesome.
including Phantasy Star, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Thunder Force 4.
Lightning Force.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lightning indeed. I'm very excited for a chance to play Sonic the Hedgehog again.
Yeah, I haven't
I
bought that in a
know.
while.
It's really great.
It's been weeks.
You can now then really compare it to Sonic Mania.
So further evidence that the virtual console's never coming back, I assume.
Oh, Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I know
it's
that we've
not.
all decided that's the case, but it's never been made official. And just
Right.
No. Nintendo is making their money with micro consoles on their on those old games.
Yeah.
And especially when you have Capcom doing the Street Fighter collection, you have this SNK, even though they've been putting out arcade archives, they're doing a Neo Geo collection that's coming to Switch. Like,
interested in hearing
There's-
more about that too, because that has arcade and NES stuff on it, doesn't it?
Yes.
oh,
Well, no,
I
the,
believe.
the SNK collection that's coming to Switch, that's like pre Neo Geo stuff.
oh, it is. I
Oh,
thought
yes,
just
it is.
Neo Geo
Yeah, like
stuff.
No,
Crystallis,
it's-
the NES Crystallis, I think is
Yeah.
going to be on there. It's
Oh,
it's Digital Eclipse.
Suddenly,
doing
I'm
it again.
interested.
Yeah, that's not like Magician Lord and Metal Slug and stuff like that. This is all the Athena and
Yeah.
Akari Warriors and its ilk.
Yeah, and it's Digital Eclipse
Hmm.
doing it, so of course,
Yes.
you know, like
The same folks who brought us
Saturday Afternoon Collection or whatever it's
Yeah.
called, the Afternoon
Yeah.
Collection. Sorry,
Disney Afternoon.
Disney
Yep.
Afternoon Collection. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's going to be cool. Love to,
Yeah.
you know, I'm really interested to hear a full list on that. I don't know that they've released a full list or not.
No, they have not.
But happy to hear it. I'm excited about stuff like that. But yeah, like again, another example of everyone's kind of taking care of their own re-releases
Yeah.
and launches and
Yeah.
retro stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. You know,
Sure.
kind of torn on the Sega Ages stuff. I see a lot of people complaining, like, well, but the other consoles are getting the collection,
Yeah.
and they're going to be selling these piecemeal
Right.
instead on the Switch, which is true. That kind of sucks, but I don't believe the collection is going to be the M2 stuff.
Right.
I think it's the stuff that they've already got on Steam.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of that stuff is not emulated very well.
No, the MT stuff is definitely better.
Yeah, I mean the M2 always does an amazing job.
What I'm curious about with the Sega Ages stuff is, are these collections going to be as full featured as
the 3DS ones.
well as the 3DS ones, or do you guys
I would
remember
imagine so.
the PS2 over in Japan?
The 2500.
M2 was doing the Sega Ages 2500 collection, which was they were jam packed with stuff. Like
Yeah.
you know, there was a treasure collection that had like Gunstar Heroes and
Dynamite Heady.
like Dynamite Heady. I think Pulse Man was on there as well. But then you'd get like, you know, like they'd have like the Game Gear version of
Right.
Gunstar Heroes on there that you could play as well and stuff like that. So
that would be
and
cool.
They also did things like, I think it was the Phantasy Star games when they re-released those. They had them set up so you could set like double XP.
oh really?
Yeah, so you could get through the
Oh.
game in a reasonable amount of time instead of
I like
grinding
that.
for hours and hours.
Oh,
I
that's
like
super
that.
cool.
Now, sometimes what happened on those collections too, though, is they actually overhauled the graphics, and that
Right.
generally didn't go well.
Right.
Like Outrun is a great example, where they redid the whole game in 3D and polygons, and it was
Yeah.
god awful.
Well, that
But-
was kind of the early
Yeah,
the early
changed
volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because they did the first maybe dozen or so Sega Ages PS2 games did have the polygonal graphics and that sort
yeah.
of thing.
Most of those were put in a collection and brought here.
Yeah, and those they
good.
went over like a lead balloon,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when Sega decided to, well, let's just make these games true to the originals and make them the best possible versions of the originals that we can, and they were
Mhm.
great.
Yes.
There's a Monster World collection that I imported. It had a bunch of the Monster World games on there. So
Yep. No, I mean I'm excited
Yeah.
for this. I don't know how many I'm gonna buy because I have so many of these games across so many other consoles at this
Right.
point.
right.
But
Well, and you
you know,
don't know
I'm
pricing.
happy for people to be able to experience some of these games
Yep.
on a new console. It's great.
Yeah.
On the go, as it were.
Speaking of new consoles,
Mm-hmm.
Sega
PlayStation
also
5?
announced
Oh,
a Mega Drive Mini.
Oh
Yes.
man,
And then At Games announced they were doing it, and everyone stopped caring.
you want your emotions to go from 60 to 0
Yeah.
in no time flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was super hyped when Sega announced that, yes, we have a Mega Drive Mini coming out. And then
I never found it, but about a month ago,
Yeah.
I don't remember what site this was on, but about a month ago there was speculation about this because I don't know if it was Sega of Japan's president or who it was, but somebody at Sega of Japan up high was quoted as saying that they really liked what Nintendo was doing with
Right.
the mini console things, and hinted that they would repackage the AtGames micro console to release there.
Ugh.
So when I actually didn't get super excited when they announced this, just because my mind just immediately went there.
Right.
Just like, and then it was almost immediately confirmed. And okay, so never mind. Don't need to
Can
care.
ignore that.
At Games, for those who do not know, is a they're toy company, I guess is how we should describe them. I don't know. You can go into stores now. You can go into Target. Or Walmart and pick up a Genesis. I don't. Is it called like the Genesis Flashback? There's an Atari Flashback console.
It's all the same company, right? They do the Atari ones as well.
Yeah,
and the Coleco and television. And
and there's one
that has the screen too.
Yeah, and there's a Genesis one. So you can go in the store right now. You can head over to Target and pick up a mini Genesis that has, I don't know, 30 games or something on there.
Yeah,
and I believe it actually has a cartridge slot too.
It does. Yep.
That will take your original Genesis cartridges, but it is horrible, just the worst. I've had the misfortune of playing with one of them, and just the emulation is awful looking. It sounds even worse than it looks.
Sound emulation is like the hardest thing to get right for a Genesis.
Yeah, and they do not even come close. It has these pack-in controllers. I think they're wireless. The one I played on was wireless, and there's shoddy controllers that don't work very well. It just garbage, just garbage all around. So, I'm assuming that what they'll be doing with this is just adding an HDMI output to it, and calling it a day. But it's. These AtGames people are.
It's really sorry to see this, right? I mean, because they could produce something of the quality that Nintendo has put out.
Yeah, if we got a Mega Drive Genesis Mini that was comparable to the NES or SNES Classic,
it
would be a dream. I would love it. But it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
By the way, Phil, the one that's out in stores now does have HDMI out. I think the only difference you're going to see here is that this is going to be in a smaller case without a cartridge port. Slot, I would think. But
the version I play, and this is the other thing about AtGames, is like every year, or if even that, every 9 months or something, they'll spit out another version.
They've been doing this for a while. They've had the rights to do these things forever.
So the one I played did not have HDMI out, but I guess the ones that are currently on store shelves do. So,
I mean, I've always sort of considered the flat, like the Atari ones and the Coleco and the Intellivision, just because I just love to have those little But I've heard that they're not even all that great. So
they're not.
There's kind of a lot less to get wrong on those.
Yeah. I remember the big news back when they released, I think, the first Atari Flashback, that they realized that there was actually the hardware in there to take cartridges. You had to do a bit of modification, but anyway.
It's a shame that that's what we're getting stuck with. So
not a shame is that Shenmue 1 and 2 are coming back for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and I think PC too.
Can look for Sailors in HD.
That's right. You'll be able to experience the magic before Shenmue 3 comes out.
One of the things that I really like to hear about this, I mean, this is cool. It kind of goes along with what I was just saying before.
Yeah.
There aren't tons of people that have experienced Shenmue, especially Shenmue 2.
Right.
But you have to, when you play them, you have to remember that these are early open world games. Kind of like, seriously, like when you lose the context of these games, they don't shine.
Let me translate Greg's comments for you. Shenmue's not very good.
But well, okay. One thing that I was really happy to hear is that they're actually updating the controls,
I don't hear any contradictions there.
which was like if you go back and play those games now, even I don't remember if it was the same way in the Xbox re-release of
Tank
Shenmue
controls or
2,
something.
but yeah, because you remember the Dreamcast only had a single analog stick,
Sure. Yeah.
so you didn't have a lot of good camera control. So
Right.
that's great.
No.
There's a lot to like about those games too, but I mean, you just have to remember that this is like before Grand Theft Auto 3, and
Right.
Yeah.
actually, if you're a Yakuza fan, the game's not the actual,
The criminal organization.
not the actual organization. It's kind of cool to play just because you'll see exactly where those games came from.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the Yakuza games are essentially the continuation of Shenmue.
Those rose from the ashes of Shenmue.
If you are a fan of the Yakuza games but don't like having that much fun, I highly recommend you check out.
There are
don't agree with
forklift
that.
races in this game. That's fun.
That's true.
That's fun.
It's just all I'm saying is that those come from an era where you can tell that it was just as impressive to walk around and marvel at the detail of this open world you were in.
Yeah.
In the face.
Like, 'cause, if you see the Coke machine over there, you can go buy a can, and if you see like the little not UFO catcher, but the little toy
Little gotcha machines.
Thank you. You can go buy some of those, and
Get
there's an
the little
arcade.
capsule.
You walk in, there's an outrun machine, and like
You can play it.
You can actually. It was like the full version of Outrun, right?
it was. Well, they were like fully arcade emulated. Well,
Yeah.
Outrun I think was in the second game.
Oh, okay.
First game had I
Hang
want
On,
to say
I think?
Hang On and
Yeah.
maybe Space Harrier.
Okay.
Which by the way, you could get a Saturn and play at home at one point, which is a little bit anachronistic considering the game took place in 1985. But there you have it. But I mean, it's like I say, that's kind of what I'm getting at is you have to come at it from the standpoint of this was really
Sure.
pretty and a technical marvel back when it was out, but it definitely, where
Sure.
that genre has gone, it doesn't really hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean,
very
to me,
long-winded.
it's like going back to a game like Jet Force Gemini, which at the time
yeah,
was pretty good for what it was, but the genre now, like you go back to that, the mechanics have been updated so much that you go back to it on the rare replay disc, and you're like, "What is this dog crap?" Like, it's just
which really
terrible.
when you really think about it, when you go back and play stuff like that, it makes you appreciate something like Super Mario 64
True,
even more.
true.
Because they got it so if that you play that now and that game still feels really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's one of those things you go back and play games that were 3D and on an HDMI set with 1080p graphics, and then you see how the texture for the forest behind you is like one polygon.
And that's not honestly that's not as big a deal. I'm talking more
No.
about control.
Oh, well,
More
sure,
than controlling camera.
the
camera
whole
movement.
thing's dated. Yeah, but you remember at E3 they used to have above the Shenmue stuff, or maybe even before they were showing the game,
The face
they would
thing.
show the facial animation and
Yeah.
how.
Oh, right.
Well, that was I think that was a direct answer to because wasn't one of the early demos for the Emotion Engine on the PlayStation 2
Yeah,
like an old man's face. and-
Oh, right.
And then so Sega immediately, I do remember that E3, what you're talking about, where they just had monitors where they just had like the faces
Yeah.
of the characters.
they didn't have the game running.
No,
They had
no.
the faces.
And that's the other thing too, that actually the original game, a lot of people don't really remember this, but the original game came with the online pass disc
Oh, right.
and it had a bunch of that stuff on it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Where you could look at all the character models and you could go online if your Dreamcast was hooked up to your 56K modem and
Which mine was.
good times.
That was a Larrabee lock, by the way. I don't know
It
if he
was.
gets credit for that, but Mr. Kevin Larrabee.
So this is going to be digital only, did they say? Or is it physical and digital?
Oh,
It says physical and digital
Okay.
on this
cool.
Game Informer story, so I assume that's
There you
correct.
go.
Of course, somebody asked them about the Switch. Sega says that they are focusing on console and PC versions only right now. So
This
there
is
you have it.
Which is a handheld, I guess.
No, they're leaving the door open for Switch.
Ah,
They didn't say no.
jeez.
By that logic, why not ask them about a Vita release?
Oh, you never know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Boss Key. You may remember them from such hit PC games as Lawbreakers. Has released their battle royale game called Radical Heights to the PC. In
Good, because
extreme,
I was thinking the other day that we need another battle royale game.
extreme early access. They've been working on this game for approximately 5 months, and they put it out on PC. It's free to play, but
They've
it
only
does
been
have
working on it for 5
microtransactions.
months.
Yes,
Impressive.
yeah, they're getting it out early, and a bunch of people started streaming it, and seems to be doing okay, I guess.
Good
All
news
right.
story, CJ.
But Fortnite and PUBG were down for like an entire day last week, which is probably good for Radical Heights being an alternative to those games.
Still waiting for whatever's going to happen in Fortnite. Saw that the meteorite or whatever it is has gotten larger.
Oh. Well, to talk about Radical Heights a little more, it's a battle royale game that has an 80s aesthetic to it. 80s game show
Here's why you're
aesthetic.
talking about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And has some BMX trick styling in there as well.
Okay.
So,
You can be Dave Mira.
apparently, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like that there are battle royale games coming out. I mean, the genre I think is good. I want to see more variety. Like I really like Darwin Project and Hunt Showdown because they bring something different to that style of gameplay.
Red Dead will have a battle royale.
I'm sure that it
will
will.
be variety right there.
I'm sure that it will, and actually, I'm very interested in seeing what they do with it because you could do a lot with that. I think, but just putting a 1980s like extreme aesthetic onto it, I don't think is enough. I think you have to vary the gameplay.
Weird, 'cause
You're buying
that's usually more than enough for you.
Because, well, yeah.
I don't even know what just happened.
I'm just gonna blink into the camera.
I shut CJ up is what happened.
That's what's that. Yep. Mhm.
Yep. You shut him right down.
Usually you're right, but yeah. Anyway, God of War
God of
Hearing
War.
amazing things about it.
comes out this week. Comes out on Friday, 4/20, the same day as Nintendo Labo. And we got
Blaze
reviews last week.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert,
Yeah.
it's apparently really good. And one Jeff Kanata, host of DLC, which is a fine podcast with Christian Spicer and some guests, including Rich Grisham has been a guest on that show. Did a tweet. He tweeted his thoughts on the game, and one of the tweets was a bunch of what ifs.
Yeah.
And he says, what if Zelda had an amazing cinematic story? What if Last of Us had incredible skill-based combat? What if Uncharted somehow put all the violence in context? What if Dark Souls was approachable and clear? The answer to all of these questions and more is God of War. And that tweet really caught fire on the internet and turned into a meme really quickly.
I hate the internet.
That tweet, more than anything, makes me very skeptical of the game. I don't know why. It had the complete inverse effect that it was clearly intended to have.
Yeah, what I think happens is when you get a game that has overwhelming praise, you definitely become skeptical of it, right? I mean, like there are so many game reviewers that play a game and then proclaim that this game is the best ever. Where I think to truly be able to judge a game outside of a review context, you really have to let the game like marinate. You have to percolate a little bit.
Percolate.
Yeah.
percolate and marinate are two different things.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta
they're
do
not.
both.
I
You
would-
can't just do one.
and
I would not trust you in the kitchen.
No.
I percolate my marinade.
I can just hear Adrian calling at you from the kitchen. Chris,
What the
Why-
hell is this?
why is there a cut of raw chicken in our coffee pot?
Percolate.
I'm preparing dinner, honey. It's gonna be good.
Isn't that how you do it?
That's exactly how you do it.
Yeah.
Can I would like to quote a good friend of the show, Bill Mudron,
Sure.
says on Twitter regarding God of War.
We appreciated my Raphael tweet this week. I was really proud of that.
The artist or the turtle?
The turtle was an artist
Wow, that's true.
with a sigh.
That is it's very true. He was. It was like watching a master painter
Yes.
when he flashed those sharpened blades.
paint was blood of his enemies.
Mudron
Wow, that got
says,
dark.
I
Blood
can't
of
help
the Foot Clan.
I can't help but think of BioShock Infinite / Skyward Sword when looking at all of these drooling God of War review scores.
Mm.
I legitimately hope the game is actually that good and that reviewers haven't somehow managed to collectively juke themselves out again. Granted, BioShock Infinite and Skyward Sword benefited hugely from being extensions of already well-loved franchises, and so it was a lot easier for reviewers to accidentally get
So-
caught in the Dutch oven of hype.
Like God of War?
But
Gotcha.
but yeah, God of War
Yeah.
is certainly from a well-loved franchise. So
God of War.
yeah.
It's named
But-
after the well-loved franchise it's from.
Yes. But you know, it's like we were talking about earlier. The press, BioShock Infinite
Yeah.
was super loved by the press and apparently Stewart.
I'm not saying it was as good as the
You're
press
saying-
said it was. I'm saying it wasn't a bad game.
It was not
Yes, it is a bad game.
it's not a good game. But
we did a spoiler cast on it.
but
That
I'm
was a bad game.
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of falling into the same pit of skepticism where there's too much praise for it coming out too soon, and that's making me a little gun shy about it. Especially considering that I'm not super big on the God of War series to begin with.
Yeah.
I've played just about every God of War game, but I'd play for maybe 5 hours or so and then get kind of bored with it and end up putting it
Yeah.
down. So
I mean, because it's the same stuff.
yeah, and I'm not saying God of War is bad,
Reviewers get after a game like Dynasty Warriors
right?
as being repetitive.
Okay, well, I even now
then-
note that it is not Phil bringing up the Dynasty Warriors. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Phil
then you
Theobald
have God
is in
of
no
War.
way comparing God of War to Dynasty Warriors.
I mean, the God of War games were really impressive to look at.
Yeah.
And they had really impressive combat mechanics.
Yeah,
But I look at this game that we're about to get, and what is it? One of the, I think Cory Barlog actually said that one of their artists took 35 or 45 hours to
Balrog.
complete it. And I don't know if I want to play a God of War game for 35 or 45 hours.
Yeah,
wait,
that's-
I don't
they're
know.
they're saying God of War is like 40-hour game.
Well, it's got side quests this time.
I don't want 40.
If
I
if you do Critical Path,
yeah,
then
oh
it's talking
Jesus,
like 16 to 18
critical path.
hours.
Critical
Yeah,
Path.
check howlongtobeat.com on that.
Okay,
That worries me.
I'll tell you about the Critical Path.
yeah, I don't. Nobody says
We'll see.
critical
We'll
path.
see though. I mean, tweets like the one that Jeff did
Mhm.
are very hyperbolic.
Yeah, well, that's
and-
just
Mhm.
it.
You just gotta wonder. Yeah, is this another Bioshock Infinite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, again, I'm not saying the God of War games are bad because they
Yeah.
are quite good. I just get tired of them after half a dozen hours,
yeah,
That's fair.
And then hearing that this one is like 40 hours.
God of War games were basically taking the same gameplay loop and throwing in really impressive settings.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you go into the new area and you see like I forget what the character's name was, but the one who walks around with like an entire tower or something on his back.
Oh,
or,
right.
You know, like that was the thing about those games, is like you had a solid fighting engine that you just used over and over and over again, but you always, you know, we're only 10 minutes away from another really impressive set piece.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out because it's coming out on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna get it.
Me too. Yeah, I already pre-ordered it.
I don't know if I'm gonna get it right away.
No.
I might wait for a price drop or something.
Okay.
So,
well, I think we should move into what we've been playing.
Okay.
Although we didn't talk about Rare charting out content plans.
Well, let's talk about that. You want to talk about that? Let's talk about it.
I do want to talk
because they've actually started. I noticed in that article that they're going to be doing one of the things that you were lamenting last week or 2 weeks ago that they should have been doing right from the start.
That's right. Weekly events.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm happy about that. Yeah, they're doing weekly events. They named like 3 in-game events that they're gonna, or actually, it's like DLC. The first one is called the Hungering Deep, which will have a new AI threat. Summer has the release of a thing called the Cursed Sails, and Forsaken Shores later than that, and that'll increase the size of the map, give you some new stuff to sail towards. So. And then after that point, so there's 3 coming between May and the end of summer, and then they have 3 more in the fall and through the winter. So a lot of that stuff. Plus, they'll be debuting weekly events in between the content drops, and they'll be making little tweaks and adjustments as they go.
That's what they've needed for quite a while.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Since weekly events, they need something to keep me coming back, even though I have been playing Sea of Thieves more or less nonstop since it launched. I think they need things like that, and they need other content too. They need more stuff to buy, more stuff to play dress up with, and outfit your ship with. So hopefully that'll be addressed here. They did a video, like a 10-12 minute long video talking about all of these updates. We'll link to that in the show notes. I was really satisfied with that video, but I know a lot of people who were hoping for this to be Destiny on the high seas were not. But the game that Rare was making was never supposed to be Destiny with pirates. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with what they've got there. I mean, I'm way more casual on that game than you are, but, you know, I find that I've actually gone over a week without playing it at this point. Not so much that I'm not interested in it. It's just that I was super busy this week, and when I did have time to play, I didn't have like an hour and a half to 2 hours to block off to play it.
Sure.
Right. Which I feel like
you almost need
in that game. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, even with an hour and a half, I feel like you can't do a whole lot.
Right.
That's true.
At least you can't complete it. So I'm happy to hear about sort of the weekly events, because I think that's going to be one of the things that'll help drive me back to it, making some time for it again. So,
yeah. And they've described things like they want to make some of the areas that are currently not populated worth going to. They're going to do something where there are mysterious skeletons that are up high on ledges and stuff that you have to try to get to as part of this. So, I mean, let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. I'm encouraged by the video that they put out. And remember, this thing's only been out for 3 weeks.
And I still have to say that I get so much enjoyment out of just going and sailing around with people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's hugely fun.
Yeah.
It's hugely fun. Yeah, I've been playing a lot with your buddy Mike.
I know, because I'm such a disappointment and I've abandoned both of you, but you guys have found me together. I feel like I was a great matchmaker for that situation. So
yeah. We've been rolling the dice and joining just random games with matchmaking. So in Galleons with 2 other random players, and it's worked out pretty well, I will say. So yeah, I'm enjoying that game though. It's each time I think I'm gonna put it down a little bit, like there's not much more for me to do because I'm like level 30 now in Gold Hoarders, and the high 20s for the other factions. So really, like the grind of the game has started slowing down a lot, and I mean the reviews were saying that there's not enough to do. I'm already like past that point that any of those reviewers were at. So yeah, but I still enjoy sailing around, and now I know the islands by their appearance.
Wow.
Look at you.
So we'll get a new map and I'll be like, oh, that's Devil's Ridge. Oh, that's Mermaid's Hideaway.
You have played a lot of this.
Shipwreck Bay. Yeah.
Really.
So yeah. Definitely yeah. I've been playing a lot. But I love it. So and I'll continue playing it. I'm sure we gotta find some way for all three of us to get on and sail around because
Hey, I'll be available tomorrow night,
that'd be a fun stream.
but not late enough for Phil to be playing too.
Yeah, probably not.
Sorry.
We gotta arrange this around Phil. Phil,
Tell
tell us
like a
when
weekend. We need a
when you're able
weekend
to
Yeah.
where we can
Yeah.
play midday.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's plan for a
Like
weekend.
6 a.m. Phil's time.
Well, let's not go nuts.
But that's all I've been playing. Sea of Thieves. Just Sea of Thieves.
See if these.
Phil, what do you got for us?
I played a little more Far Cry 5.
Oh, yeah?
Nice.
Yeah,
Have you saved Marika or yet or what?
Nah, I don't know if there's much
Any
chance of
saving
that
America at
happening
this
point. Yeah.
Ubisoft really wants me to play Far Cry 5.
Yeah, I
we-
keep getting those emails too.
Been emailing me every 2 days, like, hey,
Really?
remember Far Cry 5? Come back and play. Like, your
They're
mission
weird.
you're on isn't going to finish
They're
itself.
sending you emails?
Yes.
It's if you have the Ubisoft account.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have that, but I have not been getting
That's
emails.
because you're playing.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's 'cause
haven't
You're still playing it.
I haven't played it in a couple days, but
Well,
Is
they'll
it-
start emailing you in a couple more days.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
good. That's something to look
Don't worry,
forward
it's,
to.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, this email is the push notifications of the console world
Lovely.
because they can't do push notifications.
That sounds
Not yet.
Not
sounds
yet.
like- yeah, give it time. Give it time.
Andrew House said so.
Yeah.
I a couple weeks ago I was talking about Far Cry and how it was the intro was a little too tense
Uh-huh.
for my emotional well-being and I
Yeah.
had to shut it down like right before it turns into a video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yes, that's exactly what happened. I turned it back on and I was in that bunker and there's the guy in there oh yeah, we're the resistance and just go outside and then it's going to turn into a video game. I'm going to send you missions and you just go around and do video game stuff. And yeah, that's just kind of the narrative of being the rookie cop all by yourself in a very dangerous situation has kind of gone out the window because now it's just
Now you're just
drive,
an errand boy.
just drive around and
So it's kind of like your father's just been murdered. And
Yeah.
you need to avenge death, but first you're going to get a job driving forklifts and empty
very
out
much-
the gotcha machine.
well,
Go play
very much
Hang
so.
on.
You're not going to get 60 to 80 hours of gameplay by just trying to bring a cult to justice. I mean,
That's
come on.
true. That's true. First, I got to go befriend a puppy.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yeah,
look at
Boomer's
that.
great, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. I went over to the little pumpkin farm there, and
Yep.
yeah, his owners were horrifically murdered, but that's okay. Puppy, come with me. You and me, we're gonna go.
You forget them. They're dead now.
Yeah.
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 I was
They're
very amused after I got my puppy. I'm going around and I come across some cult members who are heavily armed and they start shooting at me. Like
Yeah.
he's there's cult members trying to murder me. And
Like
my
they
little
do.
like they do. And my little dog runs over and starts jumping on him, biting his arm and stuff, and knocks him to the ground. And suddenly the cult guy is like, "Call off your dog! Call off! Get your dog off!" And I'm just like,
They were shooting at you.
"Why would I do that? You were just trying to murder me. Why would I? No, my dog. I'm gonna let my dog do what he's doing." And so I would just walk over, and this guy's writhing on the ground,
Why don't they just shoot the dog?
trying to get my dog off
They
me.
do shoot the dog.
Oh, okay.
And as he's fighting with the dog, I'm just going to shoot you right in the head, buddy, because you were trying to shoot
Damn.
me. And he's like, well, this dude was trying to kill me just 15 seconds ago.
Yeah.
It's like,
Blair Farrell in the chat is asking if we're ever going to get a new Prince of Persia. No, not until they figure out how to make it an open world game.
there you go.
Not until they can have dog and grizzly bear partners.
Fan of dog.
So yeah, I've just been going around and finding little encampments and playing
Have you
a
done any
little
fishing.
I've not done any fishing yet. No.
You can apparently fish in this game.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of that, but yeah, I've not done any fishing. I've just been tooling around the countryside, finding little areas where the cult has been strategically set up, and I'm stalking around trying to find the best way to kill everyone without them calling in their reinforcements.
Saturday.
Yeah, blowing up silos. Which
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about the silos that make it go all wibbly wobbly?
Oh, the
Have like drug.
the stoner silos there.
Yeah.
Stoner silos. I love it.
Yeah, they got those. You walk around and there'll be containers that are leaking or something, and it makes everything all crazy, cuckoo. A bit of the wacky tobacco, or I don't know what they're. I don't know what.
Sniffing glue. Yeah, silo.
That's clearly what it is. A silo full of rubber cement.
That's right.
Rubber cement and giant magic markers that make everything goofy and fun.
Uh-huh.
So there we go. That's what I've been playing a little bit of that. And I finally got, thank you, Johnny Turbo. I know it took you weeks.
Oh man.
Weeks of controversy.
Figured it out.
And stolen art assets. But Johnny Turbo finally got that all straightened out. And Bad Dudes has finally hit the switch. So I got Bad Dudes now. So
And is it just as good as you remember?
well, I mean it's Bad Dudes, so it's not a good game.
Did
You
you
know,
say were you bad enough, dude, to save the president?
I'm on my way. I'm en route to saving the president.
Come on, President Ronnie needs you. Come on.
President Ronnie has been kidnapped by ninjas.
Oh man.
I'm playing some Bad
Kidnapping
Dudes.
ninjas.
Playing some Bad Dudes. Bad Dudes is not a great game by any stretch of the imagination. It is an old
Box code.
school brawler. It is unlike your Double Dragons or Final Fights or Streets of Rages. It is a purely 2D side view perspective
So like
game.
an altered beast.
Yeah, definitely more Altered Beast than Double Dragon. Very much like Vigilante. Did you ever play Vigilante back in the day?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, very Vigilante style. But it is a game that I have an ample amount of nostalgia for because I played the hell out of it back in the 80s. So I'm pleased to be able to play it in all its arcade glory. So the emulation, it's fine. It's
Oh really? It's not perfect?
well, I mean, it's in terms of like options for setting scan lines and all that stuff like that. You don't have a whole lot of freedom in that. It's very workman-like emulation.
Seems like stuff like scan lines and those sort of filters are really hard to get right.
Yeah, I mean
It just
yeah.
I
the
never
emulation
used
does
those.
its job, and not much more.
Yeah, I never use them either, mostly because I feel like they don't look like the way I remember things looking. So
Right?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
if they
kind of the
don't,
same way.
I'm not really interested. So
Yeah. It's not bad emulation certainly, but it does not go above and beyond. So, but hey, like I said, I'm glad to have Bad Dudes back.
Cool.
So
dudes.
that's all I've been playing.
Alrighty. Greg, what you
Update
got
some
for
stuff.
us?
I want to call out. I don't have this on my what you've been playing, but I actually did play some of this last night. Gran Turismo Sport seems to have gone forgotten by a lot of people. They've been adding content to that pretty regularly. They had ever since they added the single player sort of campaign mode. They add new events every month that you don't have to play online. They add a bunch of cars every month. It's all free. That's something that Polyphony has always been really good at for the last few releases. And a lot of people, I think, don't really know this, but like they did it with GT5 and 6, where they just drop tons of content for free. Like they support those games for a long time after launch, and same thing's happening with Gran Turismo Sport. I was playing last night and had they added a dozen new cars this month and 3 or 4 new sets of events and just a lot of stuff going on. Just want to call that out because it's a good game, and I feel like it kind of, I think rightly so, got kind of raked over the coals a little bit when it came out because it was light on content, and the online only focus I don't think landed the way they hoped it would. But good game and a lot of new content. So, but what I have played this week, I went back and played some more Mega Man. Finished Mega Man 3, and I think I finished Mega Man 4 as well. Which I thought was the first time I'd ever done that, but then realized I actually did that on the DS already. So playing 5 now. I finally cracked open the Lego Dimensions Sonic level pack.
Oh, very nice.
Pretty disappointed.
Oh,
I gotta say. Yeah.
Really?
I found it extremely buggy. I mean, more so than a Lego game normally is. Lego games are normally, they're not super tight. But with Sonic, it was good because it was an homage to a bunch of, I think, have you played it, Phil?
Yeah.
So homage to a bunch of old Sonic games, specifically the original Sonic and Sonic Adventure.
Right.
Be where most of the action took place. I found like with the Sonic Adventure stuff that they were doing the beach level, which is one of the earliest levels in Sonic Adventure, the one everyone knows where he's running on the dock and the whale is smashing through it behind him, to the point that they actually recreate that scene at the beginning of the level. But like if you even touch the water, you die. Like, and I'm not talking like jump into the water. I mean like you're on beaches, and if you take a step into like the shallow water, he'll die. Like there was just a lot of that happening in my playthrough, which I wasn't super crazy about. And I have to say, and I think this has everything to do with licensing. As far as I know, Sega doesn't actually own the rights to the music from the first Sonic game. It was created by a band member from Dreams Come True, and I believe that he retained the rights.
Really?
Which I'm guessing is why when you get into the Sonic 1 levels that they've recreated in that pack, which is like Green Hill Zone, the Labyrinth Zone, and there's one other one. They don't use any of the original music. When you're in the Sonic Adventure stuff, they're using Sonic Adventure music, but they're not using any of the old Sonic music. They're using stuff that's clearly inspired by it.
Right.
Even when he's invincible, they're not using the invincibility tune. So I could be wrong about that, but I think that's the reason why. So yeah, I don't know. I was a little disappointed in it. Nice nods to the old Sonic games, for sure. It was cool seeing a little Lego Genesis pop into the screen at one point. But overall, not one of my favorite level packs. I would put a lot of them ahead of that. I would put Mission Impossible ahead of that one.
Yeah, you were loving that Mission Impossible one.
I really enjoyed the Mission Impossible one. And I don't like those movies. I've never, especially the first one, I didn't really like.
Right.
So anyway, that's done. I have my cool little Lego Sonic now. So so now all I have left to do is the bigger mission packs. Ghostbusters and Fantastic Beasts and
Lego Batman.
I always forget that one for some reason. I'm curious though, Phil.
Yes.
You've played those as well?
I have not played through any of them. I've played like a level of each of them. So I've not played them in their entirety.
Because I assume you're rebuilding the Toys to Life podium, right? Or whatever it is.
Yes.
So is it best just to take the one that I have apart? And
no,
with an empty.
But you don't have to. You mean like the actual portal?
Yeah.
No, you can
lift it off.
No, I know you can. I'm sorry, that's not really what I was getting at. What I was saying is, does it make sense to just lift all that stuff off to play the new stuff, or like?
Yeah, I mean,
where they get you to do all. This sounds really silly, but one of the things that I love about Lego Dimensions is they get you to do a lot of the building in game.
Right. Now, I don't believe there's any of that aspect to it in the level packs, the mission packs
really?
or whatever. Yeah, I mean, like Fantastic Beasts, the instruction booklet that comes with the game shows you how to build up the sort of Fantastic Beast looking.
Oh, so you just kind of build it and then play it.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any sort of how the regular Dimensions game, as you play through it, they sort of in game show you how to rebuild the portal. Like,
and it changes during gameplay and all that stuff too.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any of that during the during the new game.
And does it kind of work the same that when you put like the first character on the podium, then it asks you if you want to play that and you have to download the content and all that?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Been a while since I played those, but I'm pretty sure that's how it worked.
Blair Farrell in our chat is actually saying the same thing, that the instructions are good. So by the way, I met Blair last week. He was in Halifax for Video Games Live.
Oh, cool.
And I met him and his significant other. It's very nice. Yep. Nice to meet you. Nice to have lunch. Gave him a player 1 pin.
Oh, how nice.
Always nice to meet.
I don't even have one of those.
That's kind of sad. I have a whole bag. I have a whole bag right here, Phil.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? Maybe you can send one to me, Greg, because clearly CJ's never going to.
Not never. Eventually I'll get around to it.
Yeah, I mean, time is infinite.
GDC, you would have gotten some.
Yeah, well, if you would get off your butt and drop some in the mail months ago like you were supposed to, I would have one too.
Yeah.
Going back to that Sonic music discussion, because Hacker Alias, TFX God in our channel, I haven't been following everything you're saying in there. The reason why I don't believe Sega has the rights is because there's actually an old story about the title screen music in Sonic Spinball.
Oh,
which is to say that apparently when that game was done and they were getting ready to launch, they had a party at Sega and they had the game running. And originally, apparently that game had Sonic's title music in it from Sonic 1. And somebody said, how did you get Sega to pay for the rights to that night? And they were like, what are you talking about? We just assumed that we owned that. Yeah. And that's when the team found out, like, oh no, we don't own that. And the title music you hear on Sonic Spinball was apparently written that evening. Oops. Literally the night that the game went out for
really?
production.
Oh man.
So that's why I'm pretty sure they don't own the rights to that music. They actually have to pay for the rights to that music, as far as I know. I could be wrong about that, but that's what leads me to believe that that's the case.
Crazy.
So that's right. Blair has 2. Blair has 2 more player 1 pins than you do, Phil.
Boom.
Well, there you go.
That must sting a little.
I guess
you've only given this 10 years of your life, but
I'm gonna go ahead and guess. Because CJ, when did those pins get made? Months ago.
I don't know.
Months ago.
Yeah, months ago.
Months ago. Yeah. Months ago. So I'm gonna guess
last year
because CJ has been saying, "Oh yeah, I'll get those right out to you. I'll send you a handful of pins." I'm gonna guess that I will get them at Scoopfest.
Probably, yes.
I have a feeling.
I get mine at GDC, so
I have a feeling that
maybe you should have gone to GDC.
You should have. You should have.
I should have, but work wasn't paying my way there, and I'm not certainly shelling out my money to see you.
Ouch.
So,
What else have you been playing?
So another game that I played this week and haven't played for a long time, or I've had for a long time and haven't played, I should say, is Tales from the Borderlands. So that was requested by a donor, an Extra Life donor. On Thursday nights when I stream on Twitch, I generally stream games that have been requested by subscribers and Extra Life donors. Remember, Twitch TV/Stewart. If you subscribe there, that money goes to Extra Life as well. And you get to choose a game for me to play on a Thursday night. And this game was Tales from the Borderlands. It was requested by Joel, longtime listener. It was really good.
Yeah,
really good. So this is a Telltale series.
I've heard that, actually.
Yeah,
I've heard that
Telltale series. And I kind of have, got a little soured on the Telltale games.
Right. I think the world has.
Yeah, the pricing structure really bothers me. But this one I believe was free because I have the whole series. Yes. It must have been free or really cheap.
It was on PlayStation Plus or
PlayStation Plus.
Games with Gold.
Yeah. And the other thing that I've always had a problem with is that they seem to not update their engine to run well on newer hardware. The engine, the last time I played it, the engine just felt really rickety. Like where it would just sort of freeze once in a while, but the audio would still keep going, or they'd snap, their animations would snap a lot or anything. So anyway, super pleasantly surprised by Tales from the Borderlands. I have never played a Borderlands game. I always thought they looked interesting, but they're really just not for me.
Right.
Wow, is this good? It's really good. The writing is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny. Like, it's just really funny, clever writing. The whole thing's presented as a sort of dueling flashbacks by the two main characters. And I highly recommend it. I've only played the first episode, but now I want to go back and play the whole series. I got through the first episode on that stream. It was about 2.5 hours. And I mean, it ran really well. It looks good. It sounds good. Again, the writing and the acting is superb.
Okay.
Yeah, you really, really should play
There
it.
we go. I have it on Steam somehow.
I play the first episode, Phil. I think you'll get into it pretty quick.
Yeah.
If you find yourself sort of not necessarily being super into it at first, wait until you sort of get to the end of the first flashback and jump into the second character.
Okay.
Because I think at that was where I was enjoying it, but that was the moment where I gained a really, really big appreciation for the writing.
Okay.
So highly recommend that. And I mean, I know that apparently there's a second series of Wolf Among Us coming out, which was the last Telltale game that I was really super excited about. So, this makes me kind of want to go back and play the Batman games, because I hear they're good as well.
Okay.
And kind of gives me hope for Walking Dead 3.
Cool.
Yeah. One thing we didn't talk about is not Meebos. I got a little
you get another not Meebo.
Not Meebo.
Those fake amiibos.
Yeah, the Totaku collection.
And what is that we're looking at?
This is a Sea of Thieves Gold Hoarder character who is not actually in the game Sea of Thieves.
Hold on a second. I got it.
But this is the character they chose to immortalize in plastic. What do you got, Phil?
I got a 6-year-old here climbing on me suddenly. I got the Parappa one.
The Parappa one.
There he is. There's CJ's got him holding up to the camera there.
He's a little paper thin Parappa because he's
gotta
paper
believe
thin.
It's not really paper thin.
No,
it is wafer thin.
My whole family's here. Hold on a second.
But sir, it is wafer thin.
Yeah.
Phil's gone.
We were going to talk about the build quality on the Not Meebos.
Oh God.
Because they're, of course, not as good as Amiibos.
Well, they're not Amiibos. So.
Okay,
that's true.
There we go. Okay,
yes.
My wife is taking Finn away. So
where's he go?
Okay.
Away.
I don't know. I may never see him again. I have no idea.
But Phil, what do you think of these Not Meebos?
Well, I when they were first announced, I was under the impression, because there's so many of them were Sony properties.
Yes.
I was under the assumption that Sony must have had a hand in their manufacture. But GameStop, they're made by GameStop.
Yeah, and I think their origin is a company in Europe, because these are also like game exclusives in the UK anyway.
Okay, yeah. Because there's a second wave of them that has been announced. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Are there any characters I'm interested in? Because right now you guys haven't seen any characters I'm interested in.
The boat from Bloodwake.
You got
is the boat from Bloodwake.
Let me see here. You got the Bloodborne Hunter.
Nope.
I got the Hunter. I got
a Watcher from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that one.
Here you go, Greg. You got Sonic the Hedgehog.
Now Blair in the chat is saying that was canceled.
What? Really? You can still order it from GameStop.
Is it a pre-order or is it actually?
It's a pre-order.
Okay.
That's a pre-order.
I think someone sent me a link to that before. That is one I'm interested in, because it's like classic Sonic, right? It's like Sonic 1.
I think so, yes. You got a dude from Ni no Kuni, Evan.
That would be cute, but I'm not really into that game. Although I would like to get the sequel.
Yeah, well.
I enjoyed what I played of the first one, but it wasn't a lot.
And Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple new ones.
There's a
coming
bunch.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's but you got Chronic the Hemp Hog is coming out to go
That's
with.
not, no.
I
no.
believe I don't think that's classic.
I can't believe we
Chronic.
got Shadow instead of him. It was down to those two.
Yeah. It's not classic Chronic though. It's from Chronic Adventure.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that one. But yeah, they're not as
Chronic colors.
they're not as well made as
They're
Amiibo.
not.
Not even a little bit.
And of course, not functional in any way.
They're
they're
somewhere between Amiibo and the Jack Specific Nintendo World of Nintendo characters, which I don't find to be very well made either.
Yeah.
I think there's somewhere in between that.
Yes. The paint schemes are not very consistent. You kind of have to look through a batch of them to get one that has a decent paint job on it and stuff like that.
I think I'm lucky enough that the ones
Oh
that
wow, really?
they sent me are good paint jobs.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of like where the paint is being applied to them. Some of them will have a very defined line where the paint ends, very sharp line where the paint ends, whereas other ones the paint kind of fades away a little bit, almost looks like it was applied with an airbrush or something. So you have kind of soft lines on there.
And you know about toys.
I do.
You know your toys.
I do. I co-host a toy podcast
That's what I hear.
called Super Toys. We love them.
Wait,
No,
no.
Points of Articulation is my toy podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're doing really bad at this.
No.
Promotional opportunity.
There's a real plug right there.
Yeah.
Points of Articulation. But
Okay.
but yeah, they're not great.
Yeah.
They're not great. I mean, they're okay. But
yeah.
I just picked up Parappa and I don't see myself picking up any others.
Yeah.
It's just
We get the
basically-
Wipeout car. The
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just
Sackboy.
no.
Nah.
No.
Oh well.
Yeah, whatever. It was
Where'd
just
Stuart
I don't know. I was just excited to get another piece of Parappa merchandise.
go? Me too.
So that's
Me too.
that's all that's the only reason I got it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to shell out the hundreds of dollars for a Parappa toaster.
Mhm.
Like my boss did.
We heard about that.
Did I tell you guys about that? Yeah.
You
my
mentioned
boss-
it.
I think
Yes.
you did.
We've
You
dropped a
egged him
few.
into purchasing that.
I did. He dropped a few $100 to get a brand new, like unopened Parappa toaster
Yeah.
from Japan.
And it's your fault.
Well, it's partially my fault. I mean, this dude he's got way more money than sense.
Okay.
So he just you know what he just bought?
I wouldn't talk about my boss that way.
Well,
And at least a few of the hosts on this podcast could also be described that way.
I think no, he would be the first to agree
Two
with
of you
me.
could be.
He would
Yeah.
agree with me. But you know what he just bought? He just got an Odyssey, the original Odyssey, not the Odyssey 2, but the original Odyssey.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, he's got that.
Play
and
Pong all day long.
some of the old games and stuff. I don't think he's gonna open it because
Oh,
he's got like
okay.
the games like complete in package and all that stuff. So
All right.
there you go.
Well done.
There you go.
Before we do tweets, and we're running long,
Mhm.
so maybe we won't do tweets.
We're not gonna do tweets.
Ouch.
Maybe not. We had so much news this week.
Yeah.
We should talk about Ethan, Mr. Einhorn, because you may have realized that it is now April
He's still not back.
and he's still not back. So the situation is
Ethan has joined a new internet media group called Channel Awesome. He is
Wait a
part.
second.
He is going to be a
don't think
part
so.
of the new.
He's the new Angry Joe.
Yeah, they're reorganizing, and he's doing
No,
a big
no, not
crossover with
Not true.
the Nostalgia Critic and
That's not true.
Ethan. That's not true.
But as you may remember, Ethan took a new job in January, and
He
that
did.
new job is with the company that works with a lot of video game publishers and developers.
what company? Can we say what company? Have we said what company?
I don't know if we've said.
I don't
Is-
think we should.
I
Okay,
don't think we
won't.
I don't think we need to.
Okay.
But the basic thing is, like, if you work for a company that works with all developers and publishers, maybe you don't want to be on a podcast where you might say something that could come back to haunt you.
Potential. Yeah.
But then again, like instead of having him be very guarded with his opinions, because Ethan is a very opinionated person, and that's what we like about him.
I don't know you could ever accuse Ethan of being guarded of his opinion. Continue.
But you want full effect Ethan, right? So instead of having him come on each week as a regular, we're going to have him on as guest. And because he does have to get permission from his employer, the legal team at his employer, to come back on. So, and of course, we didn't want that scrutiny. Don't want lawyers to a podcast, right?
Right.
So yeah, Ethan will be back as a guest when he is able to get clearance for that, but he won't be on week to week. He won't be back as the fourth chair.
Right.
So,
right.
We talked with Ethan about this at GDC.
Yep.
And he was cool with that. And he might be starting up some kind of interesting new podcast project that he can plug that you will be able to listen to. That won't be this show.
Yeah. I heard, because I was not at GDC, so I was not privy to these secret backroom conversations.
Uh-huh.
But I heard that the three of you cried for hours.
We did.
Yeah, held each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wept
tenderly.
While eating burgers and drinking large milkshakes.
Oh man. Was this at the burger bar?
Oh man.
Yes.
Oh man. Did they ever get back the Twinkie milkshakes?
I don't know if they did.
They were not on the menu.
That's
I don't think they were
disappointing.
That is, because that was the best one.
The burger bar, which is I guess they're a chain, right?
Yeah, it's a chain.
I mean, I know of two. I know there's one in San Francisco and there's one in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
But there's probably others. They have, well, first of all, they have very good burgers. But they also have very good milkshakes. And one of their milkshakes that they have was called a Twinkie milkshake. And it is exactly what they used to have. And it's what it sounds like. It's a milkshake with like blended up Twinkies in it. And it is really quite good.
And then Hostess had to go and
Hostess went out of business, right?
And then they came back,
and because they stopped making Twinkies for
damage
like
was already
year.
done. Damage was done.
They never brought back the Twinkie milkshakes. So
no,
what's the deal?
I don't know.
Life's a joke. What's the deal with Twinkie milkshakes?
What is the deal?
I can't seem to find one. How hard is it to put a Twinkie in a milkshake?
I don't know.
Don't sound like him.
But I do know that we're gonna do the outro and we're just gonna skip tweets.
Tweet-a-dee-dee-dee.
We're skipping tweet.
Tweet.
We're skipping that.
Wait, what?
Not doing it.
What?
No. We're going right to the outro.
But I sang the song.
Do it live.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us, or
jeez.
Or if you would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find show notes and links of all the things that we talked about. You'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
Yeah, there'll be another one in probably a couple months.
Yeah, and Generation 16 episodes as well.
Probably another one maybe this month, more likely next month.
Okay.
Oh, yeah? All right.
This one's taking a little longer to finish, but for good reason. I think it's going to I think it's going to turn out really well.
Excellent. And you'll also find a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to Apple's iPod Internet Casting Pod application.
Apple Podcasts is the words you were looking for?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you Google what I said, the podcast application will pop up for you.
Well, that's probably true.
Don't worry about it. You can subscribe to us through Apple Podcasts. Or you can go to I don't know, someplace.
Yeah.
See, now you really messed me
I
up.
didn't. I
If you'd like
didn't.
to subscribe, hold on. If you,
You just forgot what you're supposed to
if
say.
you'd like to subscribe,
You take a week off, and this is
I know.
what happens.
No, I was here for the outro last
Oh
week.
wait, yeah,
Don't.
yeah, because that went on for like 40 minutes.
Thank you, and I'll see if I can top it this week.
And Greg turned his microphone off because he knows he's not going to have to talk for a while.
You can also go to the Apple App Store and pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application for just $1.99. Hit it,
Cheap.
Greg. There
Cheap.
it is. There it is. Now you can go back to what you were doing. It gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application with that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
Find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace for us on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can check out archives of our show or watch us live most weeks at the
Also
youtube.com. Yeah, YouTube. I mean, you
Stop,
might have
Greg.
sit through some
cheap.
ads.
Stop.
Oh my goodness.
Cheap.
youtube.com/P1
Also
podcast.
cheap.
It's great. You'll love it.
Also cheap.
Hey, and if you've liked what you've heard,
Also cheap.
and how could you?
Cheap.
How much was that soundboard?
Not
Cheap.
enough.
Because it was worth it.
Sure was.
It was worth it. If you've liked what you've heard and how could you, you can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It keeps CJ paying off that soundboard. And his little Sea or Pirates figures.
Amiibo collection.
Yeah. Yeah, CJ needs all the Sea of Thieves merchandise he can get.
That's true.
Yes. Hey, and if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you'll find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding web series about the favorite video games that At Games loves to ruin.
Mm-hmm.
Sega Genesis.
Yes, please come check it out.
Yes. Now it's a fine show. Do not let At Games scare you away. The Generation 16 show is magnifique.
Thanks, Phil.
I agree with me. Greg, you're right. And remember, I know it's only
right.
only April, mid-April.
It'll be October before you know it.
October is coming up, and you might want to start making plans now, because in October you will be able to see us performing this nonsense live, like together in a room live.
Yeah.
Like within tickling distance of each other at Scoop Fest.
That's right. The Scooptacular.
And where would that be?
Hosted by who, CJ?
Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social.
There we go. The outstanding.
Should put that on the soundboard.
Vegas.
I should.
If you want me to read it, I can do it if you need that for the sound. Here.
Okay.
Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social.
Perfect.
There you go. You can throw that on the soundboard. It's the outstanding, hilarious comedy podcast. They're doing a big celebration get together, a Scoop Fest in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this October. You know what? I should have the dates up. I don't have
the
them
11th
up.
through the 15th, right?
11th through the 15th. There's going to be a special
11th through the 14th.
11th through the 14th.
But you go to
This is why I don't have any
HeyScoops.com/ScoopFest Vegas,
Yeah.
and you'll get all your ticketing information.
Yes. There's going to be lots of live entertainment, comedy,
And us.
improv,
It's a fun time. It's
podcasts.
going to be great.
Is
A lot of
last
gaming,
year.
nerdery.
Yeah, last year was magnifique. It was like the best time. So I'm super stoked that we're going again this year. So, and there is a what is the discount code, CJ?
I don't know.
Oh my god, you guys suck at this.
I'm gonna put it in the show notes.
Look in the show
No one
notes.
reads the show notes.
Everyone reads the show notes. Everyone.
Read the show notes. We'll have it next week. We'll
Yeah.
we'll there's a
We'll do
there's
better.
there's a discount code.
The discount code is A8ICC10.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And that's for your
8.
hotel at the Orleans Hotel and
Yes.
Casino.
Yes.
A8ICC10.
ICC10.
Easy to
So
remember.
yes. So yeah, it'd be great. The Scoops are wonderful, wonderful people. Those are the fans of Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, and we love hanging out with the Scoops. And it would be awesome to get some player one listeners. We don't have a cute name for
No.
people who listen to our
Maybe
show.
we should.
We'll call
Suckers?
That's
It would be great to have some
People who
fans,
record on Tuesdays.
people with poor taste in podcasts.
Yeah.
Are they still listening to this outro?
Probably
Equally
not.
entertained.
Let's finish it up.
Probably not.
Let's wrap it up.
CJ,
Uh-huh.
thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Ugh. Greg,
Yo.
thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Ugh.
Hey, Phil.
Yes.
People should come check out Twitch TV/Stewart on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern.
There you go.
Just saying.
You never know what you're going to see.
Right.
It's optional. And we'll see all y'all next week.
Let's do it.
That sounds good to me. Bye, everybody.
Toodles. Bye.